Hi you guys, welcome back. And of course, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy, and in this video, I'm going to talk about signs that the other side uses to get your attention and to let you know that either you're on the right track or to let you know that they're thinking of you or still with you. Basically, we're going to talk about all the signs that the other side can use that are really just messages that they are sending to you. So stay tuned. In the past, I have talked to you guys about the universal language of mind, which is the language of images. I actually learned how to interpret dreams years ago when I went to a school called the School of Metaphysics. And at the School of Metaphysics, I learned all about the universal language of mind and how to interpret the symbols and images that you see in dreams. You can also interpret those symbols and images in your day-to-day waking life. And we're going to kind of talk about that in terms of signs that the other side can send to you as messages. So if you have not yet seen it, I did make a video called Visitation Dreams, and I'll be sure to link that one up above for you if you haven't seen it. And in that dream, I tell you about a visitation dream that I had over a decade ago where my grandmother, who had passed away, came to visit me in a dream, and it actually set my life on a path that was, I feel as though I was destined to be on the path that she helped me to realize from that dream. So there are many ways that the other side can speak to you. And when I say the other side, I'm referring to your highest self, your energy. I'm referring to your loved ones who are no longer with us here in the physical world. I'm also referring to your guardian angels and spirit guides, or whatever you want to call the energy, the prime creator, God, or the universe. So the other side basically consists of the energy all around and within us, but not necessarily on the physical level. So let's start just by describing what are the images that you may be able to interpret as a message. So what I learned when I studied the universal language of mind with the School of Metaphysics is that any person, place, and thing is a symbol. Okay? I know that that can seem a little overwhelming, that it could be literally anything that you can see is technically a symbol. Now, the other part of this is how you feel about that symbol when you see it, or what it means to you. Because the other side, when it communicates with you, it understands your deepest feelings, thoughts, desires, emotions, and all of those things that you feel. So if a certain image brings about joy or happiness, the other side generally will know that that's the type of feeling that you're going to get from seeing that symbol. So keep that in mind as you try to interpret any messages that the other side might have for you. I also had made a video called How to Communicate with Angels, and I'll put a link to that one up above as well if you have not seen that video yet. But in that video, I point out that the angelic realm likes to communicate with you, and by angelic realm, I'm referring to, again, your spirit guides, as well as the angels and archangels that are only here to help us, you know, humans. So Anytime that you get messages from the angelic realm, they are also in the form of these symbols or images. And in that video, I tell you guys that I receive a lot of angel messages through numbers, repeating numbers and sequences, and coins that happen to, just show up in my path, pennies, dimes, things like that, and also feathers. Now, another way that the other side communicates with me personally quite a bit is through animals, because these are just things that I tend to look for. And so therefore, my other side team of light actually knows what types of symbols and messages to send my way in order for me to receive that message. So loved ones who have passed on to the other side can send us messages exactly the same way that angels can send us messages. You just have to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And you can develop those things simply by being aware of the symbols that are all around us each and every day. And by being aware of our dreams and writing down our dreams so that we can remember all of those symbols and then put the pieces together as we go. You do not have to understand in a fully clear way what these messages mean, because it's not the same as just hearing someone communicate with you through speech like the way that I am doing now. So part of this communication with signs and symbols has to do, again, with how you feel. So it has to do with your own intuition. So a major part of understanding this language of symbols is also understanding your own intuition and trusting what you feel that those signs and symbols are telling you. And I know it's hard and difficult sometimes to trust yourself, but if you really are having trouble understanding or trusting what you feel these symbols mean, all you have to do is ask your team of light to confirm it with another symbol. And sure enough, you should receive it. So for Christmas, I received this book, Signs, The Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Lynn Jackson. I received this book from my brother-in-law. And so in the book, it actually discusses default signs that Spirit likes to send to us. And what she means in the book by default signs is that rather than something that's very in-depth as a message, these default signs are more for the common people who don't generally know their intuition as deeply or see the signs as prominently as someone, say, like me, who actually studies this language of mind already. So the default signs that she suggests in the book are birds and butterflies, deer, electrical events, often with cell phones, coins appearing in our path, rainbows, pictures, slogans, billboards, magazines, license plates, street signs, music and songs, feathers, ladybugs, and numerical sequences. So I've already discussed some of those default signs earlier in the video. But basically, what she's pointing out is that all of these default signs are easily manipulated by the other side because all matter is really just condensed energy. So therefore, all of the energies of the other side can then manipulate these things, like coins, for instance, because they are made of metal, and that's very conductive to electricity and energy. Animals are very in tune with the Earth's magnetic field, and that is actually how they make their way around the world and find what they need to find to survive. So therefore, again, being in tune with the Earth's magnetic field is basically being very in tune with the energies. And of course, the cell phones, signs, things like that, it's all about energy. So the other side will definitely input its energy to bring these signs to you at just the right time to give you just the right message. So yesterday, I was reading this book during my break at work. And I go outside and sit in my car and I'm reading the book. And as I'm reading about the signs, I stop just to contemplate my grandmas who have passed. And just then, as I begin to contemplate my grandmas, rather than reading, off in the distance in front of me, a ton of birds go flying across the sky, and as they're flying, they're squawking and just making loud noises. They are literally loud. They are hard to ignore. So that was, to me, immediately a sign. It was like a hello from my grandparents. But then, of course, even though I knew it was a sign to me, or I felt as though it was a sign, a little bit of doubt crept in, because that happens when you're human. So I thought to myself, I don't know if that was a sign. It could have just been a bunch of birds flying by, which that is what we will all do when we get these signs, by the way. But anyway, so then I thought to myself, if that was a sign from my grandmas, then maybe I'll see a coin or feather on my way in from work. Now, this is where I get my confirmation. Like I said, if you feel like you have doubt about the sign, simply ask for further confirmation. And it doesn't have to come immediately, but you'll know when it arrives. So when my break time was over, I go to walk back into the work building, and when I get to the door to walk in, sure enough, there are 3 feathers, literally sitting on the ground right in front of the door that I use to get inside of the building. I couldn't believe it. Well, I mean, I could believe it, but I was like, I felt so blessed to receive that confirmation. And so I wrote about it, obviously, in my journal, and I even taped the feathers in there so that I could keep them forever, because any message that I can pick up like that, whether it's coins or feathers, I do like to keep them because I feel like they're very special. So whenever you receive a sign or a message, and then especially if you get confirmation after asking for confirmation, it is so important to thank the other side. So I thanked my grandmas for the special hello and the hug from them. And obviously I kept the feathers so that I could be reminded of their love and just the fact that they are literally always here. And all it takes to communicate with them is to think about them. And if you really want them to communicate back, all you have to do is ask. So have you ever had any messages sent to you from the other side? Or have you ever asked for a message and then received that message as confirmation that they're listening? If you have, let us know in the comments down below. I would love to read all of your experiences with signs from the other side as well. So also, if you guys have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would be ever so happy if you would please hit subscribe down below. And that way you would be helping me to grow my channel. And if you want to be notified anytime I make new videos, once you have subscribed, you can click the bell to receive notifications every single time I upload. So thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.